Okay, so rather than take a screenshot and explain how it works, I thought I'd shoot this video and kind of demo how the game's played. So the game is called Burn. It's based on an old game called NIM, which is kind of a strategy game that if you play it right, you can't lose. So the idea is that you would bet your buddy, hey, if I beat you in this game or something, you buy me a beer or some other kind of thing like that. But it's basically if you play it right, you can't lose the game. So I'm going to show you how it works. Ignore this stuff up here. This is diagnostic information. Basically, that's the frame rate. You want to keep it around 30. This is memory used, and the draw is built, part of the framework. So don't worry about that stuff. I'm just going to demo how it's played. So here's the rules. You click that, and they're really simple. You choose 1, 2, or 3 matches from the stack during your turn, and whoever stuck with the last match loses, and basically that's all there is to it. So it's a real simple app, real simple game, but I'm just putting it out there as a demo. All right, so basically this is how you play. You choose which seat you want to sit, and I'll explain why that matters later on, but just for demo, let's go ahead and choose seat 1, and then it's a 2-person game, so the second player would choose the second seat, and then a bunch of matches fall, all right? And then, you know, like I said, you just basically choose up to 3 matches, and the way you do that is you just grab a match, pull it over, all right, and then you can say done or choose another one. I'll go ahead and say done. The next person chooses up to 3. They drag it over to their stack. And I'll go ahead and choose 3 for this guy. Okay, and then so on, and you both take turns until all the matches are gone. Okay. Drag that one over, and then player 2. It's a little sensitive, but all right, I'm going to just choose 2 for that guy. I'm going to choose 3. Then choose 3 for this guy. And then, of course, this guy chooses the last match. Player 2 loses. Okay, so we'll play again. All right, so now the strategy behind it is that if you do it right, you won't lose, okay? So the trick is that you want to be the player 2, okay? Because then you can control the game. So if the other guy chooses player 1, okay, then you're player 2, all right? And the way you cheat, or, you know, the way the strategy works is that you want to count, you want to make the count 4, okay? So like if player 1 chooses 1 match, okay, and says done, all right, you want to equal 4. So you know he's got 1, okay, so you pull 3. Okay, and remember, you're player 2. All right, so the other guy, it really doesn't matter what he chooses. Like, say he chooses 2, okay, then you need to match that with 2 of your own. Okay, done. All right, so let's say he chooses 3. All right, now you know you need to choose 1. Okay, you always have to make sure that the count equals 4. Okay, so now if he comes over here and he chooses 1, he's like, oh, I'm gonna be slick, right? You choose 3, and he's stuck with the last match. So he's been burned. And that's how you play it. Now, what happens if the other guy says, hey, I see what you're doing. I'm going to go and be player 2. You go and be player 1. Well, I've got a trick built in. So I've got this hidden little thing here where if you tap here, right, and then you say player 1, and then he chooses player 2 because he thinks he's going to be slick and he's going to get the last match on you, then you don't see it unless you're really slick at counting matches, but an extra match falls, all right? And in this case, if you're player 1, you choose 1 match, and then now, because you chose the 1 extra match that was dropped, it's back to being even. So say he chooses 2, you go back to counting 4, and you choose 2, all right? Say he chooses 3, you go back to counting 1, all right? Say he chooses 2, you choose 2 to match his, to make the count equal 4, and then say he chooses 1, thinking he's going to be slick, you say, oh, okay, I'm going to choose 3, and guess what? He's stuck with the match. He's been burned. All right? And that's basically all there is to it. And then you can get really slick. You can sit there and you can intentionally lose to kind of hustle the guy. You can, draw. You can make it where, if you don't equal 4 or something, then he's going to win. And he's going to be like, oh, okay, I'm pretty good at this. And then on the final one, you say, hey, all right, this one's for the beer. I'm going to bet you a beer that I'm going to win this time. And then, of course, you can't lose as long as you make the count equal 4. Or if you're sitting as player 1 and you tap this little hidden area over here and it drops the extra match, then you're going to win. There's no, as long as you don't lose the counter or something like that. And that's basically all there is to it. But it's kind of a fun game. It's just something that you would use in a bar to score beers off your buddy. And that's about it. So let's go ahead and play one more time. All right. So he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to choose player 2. All right. Well, all right. So he chose player 2. As long as you go first, you're guaranteed to win. But, or as long as you go second, you can control the game. Sorry. As long as you go second, you're guaranteed to win. But, if he says, well, I'm going to go second so I can control the game, then you just kind of secretly tap that area and then you hit, player 1. And then you grab the extra match. And now, it doesn't matter what he does. He can do whatever, and as long as you keep the count, you're going to win. You're going to pull 3 each time. You're going to pull 1 each time. He pulls 3. Oops. You pull 1, and guess what? He's been burned. You get your beer. So that's about all there is to it. Like I said, I'm going to release it into the store for free. There were some extra features that I was going to build in. I was going to put like maybe ads down here, or put in some features where they can share it on Facebook. How I burned my buddy and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just going to put it out there as a demo app. As you can see, it's really simple, so it's not worth much else. But that's about it. Next time I see you, I'll bring this game on my phone. I've got it running on iPad here, iPad 2, but the way it's built is it'll size, so it'll be on like it'll fit an iPhone screen. It works on, it's built in Adobe AIR, so it's cross-platform. It'll run on Android. I built it so that it'll resize depending on whatever, there's a lot more variety in what different Android screens are like. So that's pretty much it. So that's the app I'm going to put out there. Talk to you later.